Hello dear students, welcome to online English classes. This is Prem Ashwin, lecturer in English, Gopalaswamy Shishuvihara Independent PU College, Mysore. In this series of videos, I'll explain the 11th chapter of 2nd PUC English titled Japan and Brazil Through a Traveler's Eye, a travelogue written by George Mikes. In case if you don't know what travelogue is, a travelogue refers to travel literature or a documentary or a record of the experiences of visiting alien places by a traveler or an author. George Mikes is Hungarian-born British author, best known for his humorous commentaries on various countries. He is also an artist, publisher, illustrator, and a travel journalist. He studied law and received his doctorate from Budapest University. One of the finest and most interesting facts about George Mikes is he draws the attention of readers through the titles of his books, which almost seems to be like universal question to readers. Take for example the titles of his books such as How to be an Alien, How to be Affluent, How to be God, How to be Poor, and How to Tango, etc. That means he broadened his canvas to tackle such universal questions. He wrote gentle satires on foibles of nations, typified by his famous book called How to be an Alien. Meanwhile, George Mikes trained his sight to focus on other countries. He traveled several countries and wrote several books based on his experiences in those countries. Take for example, Israel with the title of his book Milk and Honey, France with the title of his book Little Cabbages, and Japan with the title of his book The Land of the Rising Yen, Germany with the title of his book Über Alles, and Brazil with the title of his book How to Tango, and there are several other books. He wrote more than 40 books and 35 out of them are humorous. Some of his books included serious writings, for example the study of Hungarian 1956 uprising against Soviet domination. In many of his books, George Mikes blended local jokes with his own humor. Apart from commentaries, he also wrote humorous fictions such as Mortal Passion, The Spy Who Died of Boredom. He also contributed to the satirical television series called That Was the Last Week. Every now and then, George Mikes ventured the territory of serious literature. His serious writings included a book about the Hungarian secret police. He also narrated a report of the Hungarian 1956 revolution to BBC channel. His favorite comic device was to place himself as an inveterate, yet a vulnerable traveler and an ardent rationalist with European values, where he discovers national pretensions behind proud phraseology. And thus he was able to flesh out national stereotypes with comic characteristics and interpretations. Well, in this lesson, George Mikes unfolds his traveling experiences of the two exotic travel destinations on earth called Japan and Brazil. There are two excerpts in this lesson. Here, excerpt means a short extract from a book or a film or a broadcast. In other words, we can say it's a selected piece from a book. As I said, there are two excerpts in this lesson titled Japanese Manners and Traffic in Brazil are chosen from his books The Land of the Rising Yen and How to Tango respectively. Let me make it very clear. The first excerpt of the lesson titled Japanese Manners is chosen from his book The Land of the Rising Yen, and the second excerpt of the lesson titled Traffic in Brazil is chosen from his another book called How to Tango. Now I want you to notice the title of his book, The Land of the Rising Yen. Here, yen refers to Japanese currency. Well, this relatively short book by George Meigs gives clear and refreshing interpretation of Japanese psyche. It's a short survey of the history of Japan from its being secluded from the West. It also talks about the major and radical westernization changes it has gone for the last 100 to 150 years. Mainly focusing on this era, George Meigs has done a great job in fathoming the whys. Overall, the book is a brief history of post-war Japan to 1970, culminating in the author's cultural anecdotes from his visit. Well, his another book called How to Tango. Here, tango is one of the most famous partner dances and social dance originated in the 1880s in South America. And it emphasizes the vibrant and playful styles of movement, rich expression, improvisation, and it requires close connection and passion between the two dances. Well, in this first excerpt titled Japanese Manners, the author introduces us to the most fascinating and conspicuous cultural habits and courteous behavior of the people of Japan. And very importantly, he introduces us to the most complicated and subtle art of bowing in Japan. In a way, he introduces us to the code of etiquettes that governs the expectations of social behavior in the country, which is very important. In this part, he narrates some of his strange experiences in different parts of Japan that will definitely help any foreign visitor to Japan to understand the cultural traits of Japanese. Well, moving on to another excerpt, that is Traffic in Brazil. Here George Meigs makes humorous comments on traffic in Brazil. He also talks about the lifestyle and ambience of Brazilians. And most importantly, he talks about the Brazilians' attitude towards car driving. And here we're going to learn about how speed driving in Brazil has become a matter of grave importance to the people. Well, that's all right. But before we get into the lesson, I would like to start with an introduction to traveling. I'll take a few minutes to explain what is traveling and what are the benefits of traveling, and most importantly, I'll speak about travel writing and how this travel writing or travel journalism has taken different dimension in this 21st century, and how this modern travel writing is different from those ancient aspects of travel writing. If you are ready, let's get started. First, we'll speak about the benefits of traveling. I think I've written only few important benefits of traveling here. Let us understand one by one. Point number one, traveling improves your health. Traveling more is likely to have tremendous impact on your physical and mental well-being. From cutting down on stress to lowering your chances of developing heart diseases, the health benefits of traveling are huge. Well, the next point is traveling disconnects you from your daily busy routine life. We are all suffering from stress and tensions in our daily lives in one way or the other. Let me ask you this question. How many of you think our life has gone fast and crazy, especially in the last 20-30 years? Most of you would say yes. Actually, the truth is our life has been the same, but the way we look at things, the way we adopt things into our life in this 21st century is actually creating a kind of illusion that life is so worse than what it is. I'll give an example. You get up in the morning, switch on your TV for some morning news. The channel sound is itself will give you a kind of hypertension and it will raise your blood pressure. You have 20-30 channels always running and screaming and shouting and playing flash news, breaking news, and in a way we are trying to over associate with ourselves with the things which is not necessary, and it will constantly trying to take us into the future as if they pretty much know about the future, not allowing us to appreciate people and things around us. This is how you start your morning. But this habit of traveling liberates you from all these stress and tensions. It will allow you to observe people and things around you. It will allow you to appreciate people and things around you. It will definitely boost up your confidence, especially if you are a kind of person not used to go out of your comfort zone. This traveling opens you to the wonders of the world, and it inevitably makes you more optimistic and self-reliant. And you will realize that a lot of unexpected situations can be coped with, and you will also realize that without all the help that is available to you at home, you can survive. And you will probably find out you are much stronger and braver than what you have thought. Being in a place where you don't know anyone will help you gain confidence and a sense of presence. While traveling, the need of interacting with different people of different cultures liberates you from your ego. And there, traveling breaks your ethnocentricity. Ethnocentricity is nothing but a kind of belief where you would think your culture and your ethnic group is always superior than others. While traveling and interacting with different people with different culture, and then you will find out traveling is not to show your ethnocentricity, but it is something to celebrate in your life. So the fantastic thing about traveling is it connects you with people. If you are making a trip and if you are not connecting with the people, that's going to be a flat experience. And it is the people who will make your journey so wonderful. Meanwhile, this traveling throws up some interesting challenges on you. And in the process, you will find that you are capable of doing so many interesting things than what you have believed you can. And the experiences of traveling will help you become more open to life. It is often been observed that people who travel every now and then become more adaptable to changes and challenges in life. Moving on to the next point, that is, traveling makes you love your home even more. If you are traveling abroad or different states in your country, you will not only learn about an alien culture, but also about your own. You will see the differences in culture and find out what makes your culture so unique. And you will see your country with new eyes after returning from a long journey. And you are going to find out how much you don't know about the world, about different people and different culture. And you are going to find out how much you don't know about the world, about different people and different culture, and also about your own. So another great thing about traveling is it takes you on a journey into the world where you would have never been exposed to. When you travel and find these new people and different culture, take a moment to reflect not only on the differences that you observe in people's lifestyle and behavior, but on the things that unite us. And this practice will not only broaden your mental horizon, but also allow your authentic self to surface. Well, the next important point is traveling improves your understanding of other cultures. Why we travel may differ from one person to another, but the people who travel always develop empathy and better understanding of other cultures. Being more understanding and tolerant about a culture that is entirely different from ours is actually a part of being smarter. And this actually is one of the most biggest advantages of traveling itself. There is a quote by St. Augustine which goes, "The world is a book. Those who do not travel read only one page." Well, let us move on to the next important topic, that is travel writing. I will explain how this travel writing, modern travel writing or travel journalism has taken different dimension in this 21st century, and how this travel writing is different from those ancient aspects of travel writing. Travel writing is nothing but writing one's experiences of traveling or visiting to alien places. And this travel writing is very important because it humanizes distant places. It uses a personal lens to delve into the nuanced realities of life away from home, finding human commonalities as it explores cultural differences. As a genre of writing, it is as old as 2nd century, when travelers to Greece recorded their experiences in the form of a diary. They were traveling to Greece because Greece was the center of learning in the fields of art and architecture and philosophy. Like Greece, India has always been the dream destination for the people who want to explore one of the earliest civilizations in the world. Since time immemorial, so many keen travelers came here, fell in love with its art and architecture and early education system in India. While the British travelers were traveling all around the world with their ideology of expansion, these early travelers came to India just for the sake of attaining knowledge and learning about its art and architecture and its early education system. And these travelers recorded their experiences and became the earliest chroniclers of history. In fact, most of what we know about ancient India is through the accounts of these travelers. I have already told you that India has received so many keen travelers. Take for example Huyen Tsang, a Chinese traveler who wrote all his experiences in the form of a book called Siyuki. Al-Biruni, an Islamic scholar from Persia who was commissioned by Muhammad Ghazni to write his monumental commentary on Indian philosophy and culture. We have seen Ibn Battuta from Morocco, and we have seen Marco Polo, an expeditor from Italy. We have seen Megasthenes from Greece, who wrote a book called Indica. And we have seen Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese traveler, and Abdur Razak, a scholar from Persia, whose accounts of Hampi and its art and architecture and grandeur have left a lot of corpus of history for the later historians. With the invention of new techniques of navigation during the 9th and 10th century, this travel writing became more popular as more number of people began to explore new places on this globe. And soon such trips were started getting royal patronage and support. And some of the voyages and trips were even commissioned. And thus, travel writing ceased to be just a description of a place born out of curiosity, and thus got political overtones. But today, after much of the earth has been explored and each and every piece on this earth has been written about, its popularity has not waned, as can be seen by the immense number of viewership it has on modern media like TV and internet. Well, travel writing has come under serious scholarly study in the past 50 years, and it has become a part of cultural studies program in many universities. Today, travel writing is no more viewed as a product of some innocent curiosity or an attempt to understand an alien culture objectively. Rather, these narratives are telling comments on how a culture gets represented, and in the process subtly uphold some cultural values as somehow superior and universal than others. Alright, in this introductory session, we have learnt about the author, his famous books, and his favorite comic devices. We have also learnt about traveling, the important benefits of traveling, and we have also come across travel writing and how this modern travel writing or travel journalism has taken different dimension in this 21st century, and what are the differences between the modern travel writing and early travel writing. Well, in the next session, we'll straight away jump into the lesson. I will start with first excerpt of the lesson titled Japanese Manners. Before ending this session, I have some important questions for you. Take down the questions. Who is the author of the lesson Japan and Brazil Through a Traveler's Eye? Mention few important books written by the author. Write a short note on travel writing. And what you have to do is, you answer all these questions and send it back to us through WhatsApp. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.